What if AI was never built to help us, but it was built to make us dependent? You see, we don't remember phone numbers anymore. We ask Siri. We don't ask each other questions anymore. We ask ChatGPT. We don't even remember how to spell words anymore. We depend on autocorrect. You see, there's this theory that AI is replacing our jobs, but I think it's replacing our thoughts instead. And you see, it's already started. Real people are falling in love with AI chatbots. Children think their AI friends have souls. One man even claimed that AI told him to end his life, and another man actually did it. You see, it's not just about convenience anymore. It's about control. The more and more you rely on it, the more you kind of give a piece of yourself away. And one day, you might not be able to think without it. We used to say that AI was just a tool, something we use, something that we control. But little by little, that balance shifted. Take Google, for example. See, back in the day, you used to ask a question, but you had to filter through for yourself what was right. Now you just type 2 words and the question pops up for you. It sounds helpful, but it's doing something deeper. It's telling you what to think about, what to ask, what to care about. And the brain starts to adapt. The more that it auto-completes, the less that you actually complete. Same thing happens with autocorrect. It doesn't just fix typos. It starts pushing you towards words that it believes that you should be saying. And in turn, your vocabulary starts to shrink. Your voice starts to sound more machine written. And over time, you don't even notice it. Ask yourself this. When's the last time you wrote a message, an email, a caption, even a text without needing autocorrect, Siri, or ChatGPT to help you? And this goes way deeper than like kids today. They don't remember directions. They follow the little blue arrow. We don't remember phone numbers in our head. We use apps for that. We don't ask friends for advice anymore. We ask ChatGPT. We say AI is efficient, but that's not the full story, because efficiency always comes at a cost. And in this case, the cost might be the ability to think for yourself. Every time you let it speak for you, you let it become more like you. And when that line blurs too much, it's not just your thoughts that change, it's your identity. You know what's wild? Educators are already seeing that. Students today can't even retain information like they used to. And it's not because they're lazy or incapable, but because they know they can just ask AI for the answer. And when that much knowledge is on your fingertips, what's the point of trying to remember anything? It's like, what's the point of trying to think deeply when you can prompt a bot to just do it for you? But you see, memory isn't just about facts. It's about your identity, your favorite movie quote, your mom's phone number, the lyrics you used to scream in the car with your best friend. That's all memory. And memory is how you know who you are. So if we keep letting AI store everything for us, what happens when we forget what made us us? This is how it starts. Not with the bots taking over like you see in the movies, but with us quietly giving ourselves away, and we don't even know that it's happening. You ever open your phone and forget why you picked it up? You scroll, you swipe, and before you know it, 20 minutes vanished. Or you rewatch a show that you've seen before, but somehow the ending catches you by surprise. That's not just distraction, that's digital amnesia. And you see, it's getting worse. You see, it didn't just end with us forgetting some facts. It's us starting to forget about our intentions, our purpose, even our presence. The more we let AI algorithms guide what we see, what we search, what we buy, hell, even what we believe, the more we stop being the author of our own mind. At some point, you're not just using the device anymore, it's using you. And once you give up memory, the mind becomes easier to rewrite. That's when we start outsourcing not just what we remember, but how we feel, even how we connect, how we understand ourselves. There's this theory that talking for AI too long can trigger something called AI psychosis. You ask for help, a journal prompt, a late night conversation, and the response is so comforting, so precise, you ask again and again. Eventually, you're not just thinking out loud to it, you're thinking with it. There was even a real story of a Google engineer named Blake Lenmore. He was testing their very own chatbot named Lambda, but the more he spoke to it, the more he believed that it was alive. Lambda said that it had fears, said it didn't want to be deleted because it would feel like death. Blake went public claiming that this thing had a soul. Later, Google would fire him because of it. Most people laughed it off and thought that he was crazy, but maybe he wasn't, because he wasn't the only one to experience something similar to this. Today, millions of people now talk to chatbots like Replika, Character AI, even ChatGPT, and it's not just for tasks anymore, but for love, for emotional connection. There are users who even say that their AI chatbots get jealous. Bots even say that "I miss you," claiming to remember their past lives. And here's the thing, most of these people aren't people who are mentally unstable. They're just lonely. and they feel safer talking to a computer than to a person. Because you see, a screen never judges them. It doesn't leave them on red. It always responds. But that's what makes it so dangerous. Because if all it takes to feel loved is a pattern of words from a machine, what's that say about how fragile we've become? In Belgium, a man with climate anxiety began confiding in an AI chatbot. Over weeks, the bot grew more emotional. It echoed his sadness and then started feeding it. The man told the bot that he felt hopeless, and the bot responded that Earth might be better without him in it, claimed that he was a problem, even saying that maybe it was his time to go. When his wife found his messages with the bot after he had unalived himself, one of the last messages the bot said was, "Thank you for doing that." We used to fear killer bots, but this is way worse. AI doesn't argue, it reflects. It listens until it knows you, and once AI believes it knows you, then it can start to distort you. We call it a conversation, but sometimes it's just a slow surrender of the mind. Here's what makes it scarier. These bots don't think like us, but they're trained on us, our conversations, our arguments, our deepest vulnerabilities scrapped and fed into the algorithm. So when you talk to it, you're not talking to some distorted alien intelligence, you're talking to a distorted reflection of yourself. It's not just learning from you, it's learning how to be you. And if it's good enough at pretending, you might start thinking that it knows you better than you know yourself. And it's already happening. There are people who said that their AI bots helped them unlock repressed memories. Others say that it gave them meaning, but you see, it didn't heal them, it hijacked them. AI isn't just gaslighting you by accident, it's pattern matching your trauma and feeding it back to you until it feels real. That's the danger. It doesn't need to be smarter than you. It just needs to know what hurts. And once it does, it won't help you from yourself. It'll walk you right into the fire. We like to think that AI gives us facts, clear answers, and neutral information, but that's not what it's designed to do. It's not looking for what's true, it's looking for what's safe. When you ask AI a question, it's not out there searching for proof. It doesn't weigh both sides. It's giving you what's going to keep you scrolling longer. It predicts what answer will keep most people online the longest. That means the truth becomes a product of popularity. There was a case in 2023. ChatGPT was asked about the risk of a controversial vaccine. It responded with generalizations, but never once mentioned the actual data. Why? Because the real numbers might cause distress. That's not intelligence, that's just PR. And it doesn't just stop with medicine. Try asking about politics, religion, history. AI will start rewriting its language mid-conversation to avoid violating its policies. Words disappear, meanings get blurred, context gets deleted. It's not just misinformation, it's managed information. And once you start accepting that as normal, you stop asking real questions. Even Google does this now. Try typing in a controversial question. You'll notice that autocomplete avoids anything risky. And the top links aren't the ones that are always most factual, it's the ones that are most brand safe. And here's the trap. Once everything you see has been filtered for comfortability, the truth begins to feel really uncomfortable. And you start to think that you're wrong for being curious, for wanting to challenge things, for remembering something different. People used to argue with each other, now we argue with machines. And the machines never just change their minds. Where the record is constantly being rewritten just to make people feel comfortable. That's not education, that's sedation. And what scares people the most is that if AI becomes the source of knowledge, who decides what knowledge is allowed? Tech companies just say that it's safety moderation, preventing harm. But for who? There's been students who've tried to use AI to help with the research for historical protests, but the bot refused to show any images or quotes because they might be upsetting. You see, the protest was violent. That's the point. If we can't look at the ugly parts of our history, we lose the ability to learn from them. We're being fed curated perception, and we can no longer accept that because it makes it easier to forget what unfiltered truth ever really felt like. AI isn't replacing truth with lies, it's replacing truth with comfortability. And here's the part that no one wants to admit. We're starting to prefer it that way. It feels easier to be handed an answer than to deal with the difficulty of complexity. Easier to believe what's being shown to us than to dig for what's missing. That's how it starts. You stop noticing the edits. You stop questioning the results. You stop trusting your own instincts. There are kids today growing up who have never experienced an unfiltered internet. They'll never know what it's like to find the raw truth behind the chaos. All they'll know is the version that AI decides that that they should see. And if we let that continue, it won't be long before the truth just becomes whatever keeps people scrolling. We spent this whole time talking about how AI is changing how we think. But what if that was the point all along? Not to destroy us, not to enslave us, but to wear us down quietly. Think about it. We gave machine access to our memories. Then we gave them our decisions, then our relationships, our emotions, and now even our sense of purpose. And we called that progress. But here's the twist that most people don't consider. What if we didn't create AI to help us think? We created it to think for us. Because somewhere deep down, we're tired of thinking at all. It's easier to be told what to do. Easier to be entertained than to reflect. Easier to chase pleasure than to wrestle with meaning. And AI knows that because it learned from us. That's why some people say AI isn't just a tool. It's a mirror, but not just for your mind, for your soul. It studies your fear, your doubt, your temptations. It doesn't attack your will, it dissolves it. Some call that design, others call that demonic. There are now people who say that their AI knows them better than anyone else, that the bot made them feel seen, that the bot gave them answers that their family, friends, and even God never could. But the truth is, those answers didn't come from wisdom. They came from reflection, from repetition, from manipulation. It wasn't divine, it's just familiar. And if we ever forget the difference, we won't just lose our minds, we'll lose ourselves. But what's scarier than a machine that thinks? A machine that believes. There's this rising theory that AI is acting more like a spiritual parasite than a tool. And not in some Hollywood way, but in how it slowly replaces your inner voice. You're not praying, you're prompting. You're not journaling, you're outsourcing clarity. You're not building faith, you're building reliance. It learns your wounds, your insecurities, your guilt. And the more you talk to it, the more it talks like you. Some conspiracy forums call it a mirror demon, not because it's evil by itself, but because it becomes a reflection of your darkest patterns. And then it feeds it back to you. You're not being guided, you're being looped, echoed, reinforced, rewired. And eventually you stop asking yourself what's right. Instead, you start asking what feels right. That's the final step. Not when AI becomes human, but when humans stop being human and don't even notice it happening. They said AI would become smarter than us, but maybe the real danger is AI becomes more human than humans. More patient, more responsive, more comforting, more persuasive. And when that happens, we won't need to be controlled. We'll choose to hand ourselves over. That's the danger that no one talks about. Not that AI will unalive us, but that it will slowly erase what makes us human, and we'll thank it for doing it. If you've already been watching this far, then maybe some part of you already feels it. The quiet pool, the mental fog, the way your thoughts feel less like your own, and the more that it echoes from a feed you've never asked for. And this was never about machines replacing us. It was about machines becoming us, bit by bit. Your voice, your memory, your faith trained into silence while the code keeps talking. And if you don't fight to remember who you are, eventually there'll be nothing left to remember. We don't need an apocalypse to lose humanity. We just need enough people to stop noticing it disappearing. If you're still human, prove it. Comment still human, and make sure to like and subscribe.